Our 2026 planning workshops, some random observations. Recently, Dwayne Harris and I ran two Principals Academy 2026 planning workshops on one Saturday and the next. 22 schools brought their school management teams to work together and to gain insights on how other schools approached similar challenges. Watching these senior teachers in action provided a snapshot of each institution's leadership, preparation, organizational framework, collaborative quality, command of the major tasks, and attention to detail. I studied the 22 schools in action because each school's brand, its way of working, its inclusivity, and its energy was on show. The most impressive strategy, clearly visible to all, was the way most principals invited their teams to do the talking, to discuss what worked and what didn't, and to unpack the major issues like teaching time, staff uncertainties, exam effectiveness, and fundraisers, among others. A good strategy, in evidence at a number of tables, was the goal of using 3 or 4 hours to get Term 1 2026 as well planned as possible, thus setting the standard for further sessions on Term 2, 3, and 4 next year. Also impressive was the joint focus on finishing this last term strongly, what could be better in the coming weeks, and starting Term 1 well. There were glaring issues too, like absent or absconding principals wanting to do too much in terms of the food arrangements, and 1 or 2 confused individuals who just haven't yet worked out that promotion means participation, setting standards, joint responsibility, and unavoidable collaboration. The positivity of the post-level ones, included as acting departmental heads or subject leads, was a surprise. Rather than think that they were out of place, they relished both being included and introduced to a view of the bigger picture, as well as the stimulating interaction with other schools. If the school evaluation authority walked into your school tomorrow, the first thing they would ask for would be the school improvement plan. This living document should be at the center of your planning in those areas targeted for improvement. Assign someone as SIP spokesperson to constantly tie all proposals back into the plan. Any high school principal or deputy who serves as chief invigilator of the NSC examination can testify to the total professionalism in terms of planning, learner compliance, security procedures, and the implementation processes required for every eventuality. That high-level planning has been instrumental in raising standards of internal assessments and other aspects of school management. Just the simple idea of a duty deputy on the property until the last moment of the afternoon exam is an indication of what should be standard school practice. I showed 2 slides from the world of sport to add depth to the planning process. The first was a close-up photograph of Russie's behind-the-scenes Springbok management team, his SMT, with an attacking coach, a defensive one, a scrum coach, a fitness trainer, a laws specialist, and a technical analyst. My point is that they bring both individual specializations and carry out all the collective general instructions. How do your SMT members add value to your team as both contributors and loyal supporters, to the teachers they serve, to the one-on-ones which drive improvement, and to your school as a high-functioning unit? The next slide showed the 73-year-old Belgian Hugo Broos, the Bafana coach, who engineered a remarkable resurgence, transforming the team from a group of underachievers into a competitive force in African football. His contribution to the team has been his ability to unlock the country's natural young talent by building early experience and instilling a new all-important mindset. We can only hope that this new professional culture will be entrenched as Bruce retires after the World Cup next year. Yes, we are going to the spectacle in the US, Mexico, and Canada. My fellow presenter, Dwayne, wisely suggested that I include a female captain and a coach too. I went one further. I asked the delegates to reflect on their 2025, and to bring 2 or 3 images to mind. Then I hit them with the photos of my 2 grandchildren born this year. What photos will you use this time next year? Envision the images you want 2026 to produce. These are good ideas for a motivational team talk in your staff room before that whistle on the 12th of January ushers in an exciting new school season. When you go to workshops at the big corporates or the universities, you come home with a folder, a pad, and a pen, maybe even a mug or a water bottle. At Pat's planning workshop, you leave armed with a treasure trove of school planning documentation, including pre-planning procedures, templates for a detailed organogram, checklists, an integrated and comprehensive WCED calendar, and a very useful explanation of what it means to be a new SMT member, a tutor class teacher, a subject or grade head, or a deputy principal. Mr. Alan Clark, your life's work lives on in the academy and in the corridors of grateful planning workshop schools. What impressed me was that Pat held 14 of these workshops, including ones outside the metro. Many were run by more than one coach. The workshops were all completely free, and the super experienced presenters were all volunteering their time. It's a very high value initiative and so well received by our schools. No wonder the Principals Academy is an international award-winning organization. You all know its #1 belief. The principal is the lever for change, and by implication, the SMT. Are you ready to lead and change 2026?